Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. Please join for pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, thank you. I don't have any appointments. Let's see, yeah. Citizen participation. Joe Morissette?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you come on up? Just you can stand, sit.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable.
All right.
So my name is Joe Morissette. My friend and I, Bob, we are part of the PVH. We have the camping building up the road. And one of the things that we've done as we get new and younger members in is we realize that we don't have an outstanding relationship with our community. And that's one of the things that we vowed to work on. We want to bring new members in. We want to be more involved in things. We talked about doing some community events like bicycle rodeo for the kids, senior events, things like that. So what we found is we ask a lot of people in Granby, what is that building? And they go, So I think the best place for us to start was here with you. We're talking about putting a sign up, so I'm going to go address the planning board as well. But we'd like to invite you. We've got tickets to our show. Our show is coming up here. The value of the tickets, just for ethics, I'm a Chicopee City employee, so I understand the ethics laws very well. The value of the tickets, there's 2 tickets in there, they're $10 a piece. So they're not in violation of any ethical issues. Our goal is to just have you come and see what we do and get to know us as a member of the community. Our goal is really going to be to put forth a much better foot than we've had. We love the town. We try to elicit business or get business to any one of the town offices that we can, any one of the town businesses. So we're just looking to be better parts of the community, and that was really my whole spiel. Come in, say hello, and then if you ever have any questions, problems, concerns with us, we're open to hear what you guys have to say, and we're there.
No, definitely appreciate you stopping in and saying hello.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Folks, have a great day. Thank you
too.
so much.
Take care.
You too. Take care.
Thank you.
Well, Chris, town administrator, do you have anything for us?
You never get back to me with a schedule when you're available, Glenn,
For
the budget meetings?
I didn't?
No?
Oh, thought I did.
Forgot to hit send.
That's possible, or sometimes depending where I am, it doesn't go through.
Yeah, I have that problem too sometimes.
What's the best date for that works for everybody else?
Rick said any day,
Anytime.
as long as it's after 5:15. Crystal, you gave me like half a dozen dates, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
I gave this week, next week, and I think, I said if you need me to go into February, I can go into February too.
You want to try and find those dates, Glenn?
Okay. How many days do we need, Chris?
I think I said
We
two.
usually do it in 2 to 3. Because usually we set up like 2-hour sessions. And that's usually enough to go through police, fire, veterans, highway, council on aging, building inspector, and myself.
Alright, so I know this is short notice, and I don't know how much notice you have to give the department heads, but I had January 19th, 23rd, 24th, 26th. And same thing as Rick, after 5 would be best for me as well. And then I can go into February if need be as well,
I don't think this week would be enough.
because it's not
notice.
enough time for
Yeah.
them. So 23rd, 24th, 26th next week.
I can do the 25th. I know that.
Okay.
25th.
Mm-hmm.
The Crystal said 26th, didn't you, Crystal?
Mhm. Yeah.
Did you say the 25th too, or no?
Yeah, I said 25th and
Okay.
You said-
26th.
wait, pick the one day you said you couldn't do.
Oh, actually, the
No.
25th was not. It was the
Okay.
24th and the 26th, but hold on, let me
It was
just,
23, 24, 26, you said.
let me just see. Trying to remember what's Wednesdays for my family. That's
Do you want me to look up?
Oh, it's a wrestling meet for my son, and it starts at 6.
So why don't we do the 24th and 26th?
I thought
Okay.
you said you,
Yeah, I can do those too.
I
Well,
thought you said 24 is bad.
No, it was the 25th that was bad because
No,
it's a
Glenn.
Wednesday.
Well,
Oh,
but you can't do the 25th,
Well,
I'll make the 24th.
But the
work.
24th, we have the West Street School Building Committee meeting here.
okay.
So 24th is out. It's good, because I have a retirement seminar that night.
Okay, so you got 26th, and we
I'm
can
good.
do it the week after, if that's what you want.
Anyone opposed to a Friday?
Nope.
Doing back to back?
I don't like Fridays.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No,
I know,
okay.
it's the end of a long work week,
I'm
I get
sorry.
it.
The 30th through the 3rd, you're talking about, Chris?
The 30th
Yes.
and the 31st. I can do those.
So how about the,
I can't do the 1st.
okay, how about the 31st?
I can, yep, I'm good on that day.
Okay.
And I'm good on the 30th, too.
All right, for now, we'll do the 1st, or the 26th and the 31st.
We need 3 days, right?
Well, we can see if we can squeeze it into 2. Because you guys just get tired of listening to me talk.
Okay.
Never.
So we'll do the 26th and 31st of January.
5:30 to 7:30?
Okay.
Okay.
26th, and what's the other one? The 3rd?
31st. 31st.
And
3
the
and 1.
And the 31st, okay. What do we got on that? Oh, yeah, that's just an eye exam.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Logging forestry plan update. I had received an email from John Edwards. The logging company is hoping to start the end of January because they're hoping that we'll finally get 2 weeks of freezing weather
Yeah.
to solidify the ground enough. But they also had a concern that the original contract said they had to be done by March 31st. And the reason we said that is because we usually start booking potential parties in April. So due to the fact that they've already lost probably 2 months worth of time to do the work in, I'd like to be at least extended another 30 days to begin with and see if they can get done with that and not do any bookings until May,
So when they're starting again?
the end of January,
End of January through February,
February, March, then
maybe a little longer.
in April, yeah.
Are they worried about the ground thawing? Not that it's frozen.
Well, it's just that we've had rain constantly, so
Yeah.
every time it starts to freeze, then it rains and warms up and turns into mud
puddle.
pit.
Yeah.
Are they looking to go until April or through April?
I want to say through April, because the original contract said March 31st is when they had to end. And they wanted to be able to extend it due to the loss of the time.
Yeah.
And it's a Monday through Friday thing for them? So there's,
I would hate for them to get in there and then have to, pick up when they still have so much left to do.
Yep.
yeah, I'm okay with that.
I guess the only concern is in April, there's usually a lot of rain too, so they might be facing the same issue, but at least if the weather's good, they could extend it.
We don't have any conflicts with anybody reserving anything there?
Not that I know of at this point. I'll go back and look at the
Okay.
calendar, but I don't remember anybody renting in April.
I'm fine with going through the April to April 30th.
Yeah.
And kind of look at it at that point. I don't know if I want to go to May, though.
I know.
May, we run into the problem, because then you start getting graduation parties and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
that's
colleges and stuff, so.
Okay.
Dredging of Dufresne Pond, I'm just working with the low bidder to try and set up a date to come in and do a kickoff meeting with the board regarding the process. But I did talk to him for a little bit, and he had a question. how deep do you want to dredge that pond?
I do remember you asking that at the beginning, and I think when we talked about it, didn't we say this, when you looked it up, didn't you say the standard was 4 to 5 inches, but we can pick anywhere in between?
The problem is, the deeper you dredge,
Yeah,
the more it's gonna cost you.
Yeah, there's,
okay,
I was reading a little bit about this, Chris, and it's, you gotta get, to avoid all the silt, the plants regrowing again, you gotta go below a certain depth. And I don't remember what it is on top of my head. There's ways we can do, what do we want to use it for? What's the main use? There's no swimming, it's just gonna be recreational fishing, correct?
I would say so, because that's where we hold the
Yeah.
fishing derbies and stuff.
And it's not a water source, eventual water source for the
No,
town
I
or
just
something?
think it's a drainage, obviously, for the mountain, to be honest with you.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a little vernal pools out in the back, I remember.
Now, the other issue is when you go to dredge it, you can't just dredge like that. It has to taper in
Yeah,
to dredge. So
that's if we're doing the whole thing.
I had put in 1,000 feet plus or minus from the dam. That'll
From the
take
dam
you-
back,
Yep, heading back route I think you almost hit where it takes that, I think it takes the left-hand turn.
left-hand turn from the dam,
Sure.
looking down from the dam,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. It takes you up just a little bit around there to hopefully get rid of some of that vegetation.
So if I'm picturing it correctly, Chris, on the Kendall Street side, it would go to where the people park to fish, but, and then extend a little bit further.
Just a little
but-
bit further.
Okay.
It does that little dog leg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Dog leg left. You go down hook and you'd be all right.
okay,
But usually we hold the, cops and bobbers there.
yeah,
We have the fish derby during Charter Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if there's another derby that goes in there.
I know we questioned the water source on it, but if it, they're stocking trout in it, it's on the stocking list.
Yes.
It's gotta be clean water for them to do it. I
it's
know
gotta be
that-
cold enough for them to do it too. They only stock it at the beginning of spring. I think by June, it's too hot for the fish to survive.
People watch for when the truck.
Yes. It's on the website.
Yeah. It's there, go. And the fish gotta go in a little bit earlier than the fishing derby, because they need a couple
Yeah, we
days
put
to
'em in
acclimate, because
for-
otherwise they're not gonna bite. I
Yep.
think we got them in late last year, because we
No,
were,
it was 2 days.
it was 2 days
Yeah, we
beforehand.
put them in on Thursday, and because I talked to the guy who stocked it, and he said Thursday should be good for Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the,
Because if you put them in on Wednesday, they're gonna fish it out.
Yes, no, they definitely will.
what's the recommendation from the person?
He's not making a recommendation, that's our call. That's our call on how deep you want to make it.
I wish
think
I
we
knew the
should,
depth of it. I wanna say it's like 8 feet to stop the regrowth of that stuff right away.
But if we go into a maintenance plan versus just letting it go like we did,
Right.
Yeah.
There's other ways, from what I read about it, you can, if you just make, that's why I asked about what we're using it for. So if it's fishing, they can dredge like alleyways, I guess, in it, dig down to whatever depth you want. And something, what, if you want to do it from the playground side or the other side, I don't know if we want to save money on that. I'd rather see it in even depth. My personal opinion would be. Trout, I know, like get cold water, so they're at the bottom.
and the plan is to spread what they take out around Dufresne Park.
Perfect.
Okay.
Is there testing of the water
They
and or
will
the
be,
sludge,
no, they will be testing the silt,
the silt?
all right? Part of the thing is, number one, they're gonna do their depth sounding, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, because they got to go down with the
Right,
stuff.
okay. But also what they will do is take a core sample of the silt, okay?
Yeah,
And be able to go take it out and test it to make sure it's, A, not hazardous. If it's hazardous, then we're gonna find a place to dispose of it.
do you see that as a potential?
I don't,
I don't either.
okay, because I don't know of anything that would have run into there from its water source,
Yeah.
but who knows?
The one question I have, if we don't dredge out that dog left in the left, where the water comes in, Is that silt, is that just gonna turn into a swamp eventually there?
I think it will. Or it'll slowly leach into where we dredge. Also,
Right, and that's,
on these major storms. where you
so
have
is there a
heavy downfall.
potential of dredging at the source where it comes into that part, go down a certain depth there? Maybe catch sludge and maybe do an alleyway down the middle?
We can ask, that's the problem is, I've never been involved in a dredging operation, sorry.
Yeah.
But in the little conversations I've had, number one, it sounds like it's great to be able to find places around the park to put the dredged material out. That way you don't have to worry about finding a place for it to dewater and then moving it a second time. For me, spread it out, maybe cover a lot of the roots that are tripping hazards
Oh, yeah.
along the sides and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe even create some sort of a swale type of thing along where the drainage ditch is, because we've talked about having to dig out the drainage
Yep.
ditch that goes out behind the playground.
Yep.
Maybe we can artificially create a swale for it by building up the sides a little bit to create the water to come down.
Is there a way we can get this person here so we can talk to
Yes.
them about these
Well,
questions?
This will be the kickoff meeting. I just
Okay.
gotta get together with them and
Yeah.
get a kickoff meeting for you guys. It's just, these are the little things that we have to start thinking about,
No, I've been thinking about them, yeah.
when we get there, so. Okay?
Yep.
Update on GCAM. I've had a couple conversations with Mark Bale. He was able to drop off 2 years' worth of financials to me last week, so I'm starting to slowly go through the financials. Update on special town meeting dates. I haven't scheduled any date at this point in time, because I haven't found anything else to put onto the agenda at this point. Okay? Illegal dumping. We've been having an issue of finding household trash in the dumpster behind the highway department. So I instructed Jeremy to set up a trail cam to see if we could see who was doing it. Plus, we had had reports from people that they had seen people in there dumping at our site. When we put the trail cam up, we had 3 people that we caught on film. I turned the film over to the police department, and you have the police department report in front of you. However, I will state that one gentleman was found dumping again on last Thursday morning. And he was the one who claimed that the reason he was bringing his trash up there was because Waste Management didn't pick up his trash that week. Well, Waste Management doesn't go to households 2 times a week. They go once.
Yeah.
And each time you had a pickup truckload of trash, 4 to 5 bags.
Which is not something Waste Management would take.
It doesn't really matter the reason.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I'm just saying,
they don't have permission to do it.
but I'm just saying, the other issue that we found out when we did the investigation is Dave DeRozier has given some people permission to dump there because they pick up trash on the side of the roads. And they bring it to his dumpster and dump it in the dumpster. I have a problem with that. Because if they're going after hours, how do I know what they're dumping in there?
Well, that's just it. It's a great idea in theory,
Yes.
as long as you can manage it. But like you said, who's to say that all the trash isn't being dumped there?
Yes.
So it's kind of like,
So the question I have first for the board is, do we wish the police department to proceed? I guess it's just a fine that they'll get for illegal dumping in our dumpster? Do we want the police department to proceed with charging them and having a fine assessed against them for this illegal dumping? Or do we want to use this as a public notice to people? If you dump there again, you will be fined and trespassed from the property.
So they're doing it after hours, it's not a 9 to 5.
It's not being done while the highway department was open. They're coming in 6 o'clock in the morning. When we saw the film for when this all occurred, it was in daylight, but it was a weekend. It was over the weekend when nobody is there.
Are these all town residents?
Yes.
So the other two have not dumped since they were spoken to, correct?
We have not seen them
Okay.
there.
And this gentleman dumped illegally, was spoken to by the police, and then dumped after being
No,
spoken to?
he dumped twice before he was contacted by the police.
Okay.
But I still want to mount cameras, and I'm gonna let people know publicly. We are gonna be mounting cameras. And if we catch people, personally, I want to prosecute. Because it's not fair to all the other residents who are following the rules of the program in a proper manner.
No, I agree with you on that. Is the dumpster locked, I think?
No,
Well, that's one remedy we can do.
but if we lock it, it's gonna remain locked, and only one person's gonna have the key. Because I'm not gonna have someone calling somebody after hours who knows of somebody, or gets the key from somebody they knows, to go and unlock it.
No, it should be, and if Mr. DeRosa's given permission to somebody, that list should be filed. Hey, I gave,
It should be filed with the
John
Board of
Doe
Selectmen. It should be
permission.
filed with the Board of Selectmen, so they know too.
yeah. And that could go, I don't know, Dave could let us know who he gave permission to, so we don't prosecute them needlessly.
Well,
I mean, they are cleaning up our streets. I don't mind them. If Dave gave them permission to do that, I get that part, but what else is going in there besides what they're picking up off the streets?
Yes.
And if it's unlocked in the night, it's, it shouldn't be. First off. But I'm not against prosecuting them. I'm okay with that.
Crystal?
I think because the police officers weren't able to contact him after he had dumped once, they couldn't contact him, he dumped again, and then they spoke to him. I think it should be a warning as of right now, because they finally did get in contact with him. He now knows and was spoken to about not dumping. So I think this should be the warning to everyone that there should be no illegal dumping. That's how I feel.
In any town dumpster.
Right, in any town dumpster, whether it's at Dufresne Park, which I know people have been known to leave their trash bags off to the side and not
Yeah.
put them in the dumpster. So I think this should be the warning, and like you said, we are putting up cameras. We already have trail cams up, but we're putting up mounted cameras.
Yep,
So they will be prosecuted should it happen again.
yes.
I think that's a fair, just because he wasn't spoken to, like, he knows it's wrong, I get it, but the police never
Right.
spoke to him about it.
But
So
like
they
if-
finally made contact. Should he have done it after the conversation? Well, then yes. He knew he was caught, he knew he was in the wrong.
And I agree with you, however, when you look at the video, it's 2 pickup truck loads of trash.
For trash,
Within, 4 days of each other?
yeah.
One on the weekend and one on Thursday morning?
So, here's where, are you done?
Yeah.
So here's, sorry. So here's where I am with this. So, I'm all for fining them for doing that. Can't tell me you didn't know you couldn't do it. And for some reason you had an issue, you could have called here. You could have spoke to Dave Rocher. A lot of phone calls could have been made if you're having an issue where you need to dump things versus taking it upon yourself. It's an open dumpster. I'm just going to decide to throw things away. Whether it's town property, whether it's a business, it's still not allowed. It don't gives them the right to throw trash away. So I'm with finding them. I think the next thing I would say, as far as the people that are picking up the trash on the side of the street and stuff like that, greatly appreciate it very much. I think Dave needs to come up with a better system for that. I'm not a fan of having people on town property when the buildings are closed and then throwing things into a dumpster in case they slip, in case they fall, get hurt. You know, maybe it's something that's being done during normal business hours. You drop the trash off, or you know, Dave knows that so and so is going to drop off 2 bags of trash on such and such day. Well, that's fine. He's accounting for it. He knows about it. He's aware of it. But that I'd say you drop it off by the gate if it's after hours, and then Dave or his staff can put it in the dumpster.
Okay, but the problem is, it's not gated. His yard is not gated.
Well, is there a gate there on the side? I thought there was a gate off to the side there.
No.
So
No.
they would have to drop it off at the front door or at the door, basically.
Put it in the parking lot. I don't care.
Well, but
Just
I
drop it off to the
also
point.
have a concern because as you view the tape, you see a lot of cars driving around the back of that building over the course of a night, or over the course of a week.
How long are those cars in the back?
Well, it's that some go right around, some come in, they slow down, and then they keep going. Some go out and they check out the wood pile. After hours, they're out there checking the wood pile. You know, I have a concern because David has expensive equipment behind
Yeah.
that building.
Yep.
Betty stores. So at some point, I think we may have to look at gating the highway yard up.
And the
I think that's coming if we deal with the signage, you deal with, it should be locked. You put camera and use sign out there, they will be prosecuted.
You know, I'm just saying
Yeah.
is,
It's obviously it was malicious, and
it's done.
the intent
knowingly.
was
It's
to
knowingly
avoid going,
done.
paying the trip to the dump where they gotta do the both ways. It was definitely malicious in my eyes right now.
But again, that's the attitude out there is, you know, I have a lot of people who say, you know, oh, I just bring my trash to work and I dump it in their dumpster. Or I work for another community and I just bring it and dump it in their dumpsters. Nobody says a word. Why aren't you just doing that here? No,
Because we pay for it.
no.
Yeah.
Everybody pays to get rid of their trash.
If you're bringing it to your employer's okay with it, so be it.
Yeah.
If you have
I've
permission.
seen that happen on our cameras at where I work too.
Again, if you have permission, that's okay. If you don't have permission, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
You know, but,
Simple as that.
and one of the people who got caught came in their company truck and did it. And I
Yeah.
had a problem with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, that's why I'm asking for the board for their opinion on how to proceed with this.
Well, I'm in favor of giving them a fine because you don't have permission,
Yeah.
and I don't know what thinks or why you think you could just go over there and dump your trash. And from what I read, it doesn't really sound like it's a lot of household trash. It's not a couple trash bags. It talks about someone jumping up and down to stop the trash inside the dumpster.
That was the person who dropped off the barbed wire,
Yeah.
commercial grade barbed wire, and it was a toy tricycle,
Yeah.
a metal toy tricycle.
I think it's unfair to the taxpayers because they're the ones that are paying to have that dumped. So if the dumpster needs to be dumped on a
More frequent basis,
basis,
then, yeah.
exactly, it's a cost to the town. Again, they shouldn't be doing it. They don't have permission to do it, they shouldn't be doing it, simple as that. So different, like I said, and, going behind CVS, putting something in their dumpster,
Mhm.
shouldn't be doing it.
And trespass orders issued?
Do you want trespass orders issued too?
They're caught behind there after hours, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if I wanna give them a trespass order though. More or less if
I think
it's
the fine will send the message, and then if they're caught
fine.
again.
What's the fine?
I think it's $300 maybe.
Well, send a hard message for them, but I'm okay with the trespass though, so I'll be on record saying that. I think they should get it. They're trespassing on properties, especially late at night.
public property.
They're not there on good intent, let's just put it that way.
Public property.
It's
Unless
public,
you-
but it's private too.
Yeah.
Unless you have signage that says you can't go on the property at certain times, it's
Yeah,
public.
you're doing these signage, I agree.
So I'm just saying that that would probably be a good thing for us to have the signage put up there, no trespassing, after, hours. Whatever the hours may be.
Outside the hours of 9 to 3,
Yeah.
or 7 to 3. That's when highway comes in.
Because then you can,
Yeah.
as long as the trespassing signs are posted, you can hold them accountable.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
So fines issued to all three, and no trespassing sign goes up. And should they trespass again, then we can pursue the the trespassing.
Is
Right.
there,
Is that what we're agreeing to?
Yeah, well,
Is
the
it a CMR
trespassing,
charge?
trespassing is a
the
felony.
fines are just, the fines
I
are
think it's by Mass General Law.
Mass General Law?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I spoke with the police chief about it, he said that it would be basically a fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It usually says up to a certain amount of money.
All right.
All right.
Last item is, again, the IBPO sent a letter asking about if the board was going to give them any ARPA money for performing their duties during the COVID crisis.
Chris, could you tell me what that acronym stands for, IBP?
ARPA?
No,
Amer-
no, not ARPA, I know that one, the IB.
International Brotherhood of Police Officers.
Okay. Thank you.
And just so you know, that the firefighters are looking for the same thing. And that is the IAFF, which is International Association of Firefighters.
I mean, I hear them, I understand it. But right now, I'm just concerned as what the future is gonna hold. As far as, things can get tough for the town, as far as finances and things like that for the future. As the economy kind of slows down, stuff like that. I mean, I see it, I get it, I understand it. But there's also other employees, town employees that came to work every day too. During the same time frame, so. If you do for one, do for all. Because the people came into work, they performed their duties, their responsibilities, just like the police officers and the firefighters.
Where do you stop? Cumberland Farm people? They
So-
came to work, Dunkin' Donuts people came to work every day. It's not just for municipal employees, the ARPA money is designed for.
So
I get it,
some of those
it's the hard
companies-
questions, we talked about
Yeah,
this
some of those
before.
companies,
Have their own,
I'm sure we're given some type of stipend or something like that. But we gave something out as a stipend or as a bonus for COVID. Back when COVID kind of first started.
I was gonna ask you guys what you had given them in the
That
past
was-
to know what they're looking for, I guess,
$1,400 we gave them.
for each person.
Everybody who reported to
What
work.
was it limited to? All town employees,
Yes. Except the school.
except the school, okay.
Because it was anybody who reported to work or reported for their shift.
In a physical building, not remote people.
Right, in a town building.
And we don't think, one of the departments we didn't give it to, right?
We,
Because they had something to do with their schedule or something.
because what they did is they worked on a short schedule.
Yeah.
And nobody else did, but they got paid
Right.
full,
That's right, that's how we came up with the amount.
yes,
We figured out what they would have, so it's.
Yes.
Yeah, that, you guys did that before I even came out.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was money that was given.
but
for
they
COVID.
did get it
Yeah.
because they didn't have to work the full number of hours that they were. paid.
Right, that's, because I remember that's how we kind of looked at what the amount would be. We figured out what they would have earned, or what they received for that time frame.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. I think the public safety of people who are out there getting COVID, working, saving people, I think kind of need a reward or something like that, but I have a problem with just limiting it to them and other people. You, Chris, for example, Kathy, for example, Dale, whoever came in, they were here every day. But
Well,
that's my quandary
yeah.
right now, is where do you stop?
Well, that's, I said, you have all the other town employees
Yeah.
and departments who came to work, and then you gotta kind of come up with a time frame as to when they came to work. And as I said, we did give out a $1,400 bonus for that.
And that came out of what? Is that part of the ARPA?
We went and got an appropriation for it.
Okay.
Because even though we weren't out, say, pulling people over and doing things of that nature, every time somebody came to the door and rang the bell, we came down,
Yeah, I know you did.
you know? We continued to operate, the annex continued to operate on a daily basis.
Yep.
You know, it was, yeah, we had masks on like everybody else, and we tried to practice proper protocol,
Yeah.
but we were out there being exposed, potentially.
Meetings in the staff of
Nope.
the town boards and town committees, meetings kept on going,
Yeah.
Yep.
so.
Chris, how much money is in the ARPA fund right now?
1.8.
Minus,
Minus what?
then we take some out
Nope.
for budget.
No, the board never voted to use that money, so it can
Okay.
be freed up for free cash.
How many people would we be looking at the police station and the fire department? And dispatch was obviously included in that, correct? Okay.
Well, it's a union, and they're part of the union. $30, $35? That's off the top of my head.
Okay.
Okay.
That should be the public safety.
Yeah, basically, public
Yeah.
safety complex. But if you give it to them, you're gonna have a lot of other
Yeah.
municipal employees.
Yeah, no.
I know.
Upset if they don't get something.
I know.
And personally, I think this letter coming in again just before going into negotiations with the union is in bad taste.
It's something to think about, but at this point in time, just like I said, based on, I just think there's other things in the town right now that we're getting money for in the future.
That will help the whole town,
Right.
Yeah.
not just the
I-
group.
you
So
know, If there was no.
that's what the intent, I believe, was for the American Rescue money to go through infrastructure. There's three things, I'm drawing a blank on the other
It
two.
was basically to try and kickstart the economy
Yeah.
after COVID. That's why it's called the American Recovery Plan.
Yeah,
It was to try and get people back working and earning instead of when the government paid people $600 more than unemployment to sit home
Yeah.
during the pandemic.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, if, just where I am, if we didn't give the $1,400 already, I'd be all for it. But if we do it, then you have to start talking about, what's the amount that we'd give
Yeah,
if we did. So that's something, another discussion as well, as to what amount,
Other communities do varying amounts depending upon what your job occupation was.
yeah.
You know, give 5,000 to the ambulance crews who were exposed to it day to day, up close and personal. Give 2,500 to the police, and maybe give 1,000 to other people. But even that doesn't set them up with people.
No, and I don't want to say that, I mean, you answering the door, someone at the door could have it just as somebody else.
Mhm.
same way Kathy at the annex and her crew and
Yeah.
the tax collector.
I mean, everybody took their safety precautions and, wore their mask and did the things they needed to do and stuff like that, so I don't, Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's something to think about, but just the way I feel right now, not right now. I know there's a lot of things for the town right now that are coming up that, we need to think about as far as, appropriating funds and things like that, so.
Yeah.
But if you talk about, maybe give something like a $500 bonus or stipend, and, you do all the town employees, it could be, who do you say deserves it?
And who you say does it. Yeah.
Did we go across the board and do it for everybody? Like I said, there's a lot of people that were not paid town employees or on committees who showed up and still did their thing.
Yep, you're right.
I want to, you have to recognize that too.
Yeah.
We can continue that conversation for another
Yeah,
day.
let's table it, continue it, think more about it.
That's it for town administrator.
All right.
Is that
Fine job,
enough?
fine job. All right, new business and information, accept departmental reports. Everybody have a chance to review them? I know Chris had sent out some around like 1 o'clock or so.
Yes, I read them.
Good.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns in regards to it?
This is my first time being part of the budget process, and I know we're going to have our meetings next week, but in the police report, they talked about capital committee requests. Is that something that was, because I remember there was stuff that we approved at annual town meeting.
That's the capital improvement committee. They
Okay.
met last week and they approved the requests. And those will be discussed when we go over the full budget package.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Is there a motion to accept the departmental reports?
I will make a motion to accept the departmental reports.
And I will second that motion to accept.
All right. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? We have approved and signed maintenance warrants.
All right, so the first one is a motion to accept the warrant, payroll warrant number 42, dated 1/4/23, for $451,695.67. Next one is maintenance warrant number 43, dated 1/6/2023, for $85,278.49. And last one is warrant number 44. This is a bills payable warrant, dated 1/13/22, in the amount of $335,675.80.
Is there a second?
Oh, I didn't hear she made a motion, but
That was her motion.
that was the motion, okay. Yeah, I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
I did have a question about ASCAP training. I was just curious as to what that was for the Council on Aging.
ASCAP,
Yeah.
that's the license so that they can do movies here.
Okay.
It's basically the American Society of Cinematographic Producers or Production Art. If you were to play a movie in public, you have to have a
Yeah.
license.
The copyright license?
Yep.
Okay.
You have to pay a fee to be able to show it in public to a group of people, so. Or even play music in here when they're having an event, you have to
Yeah.
pay to be able to do that also.
Okay. So it kind of is
Really?
everything rolled into
Yes.
one?
Yep.
Yes.
Wow.
Boxes have to.
By right, you're not allowed to play music in your office if the general public goes into it. You know how a lot of people have music playing in the background?
Yeah.
It's-
Yes,
It's
I know
illegal.
very well.
It's illegal that the general public can come in. Because you now infringed upon the artist's ability to get money for his artistic endeavors.
Really?
Yes. I ran into that once
Did
when.
not know that.
When the organization called Muzak came in once, and we
Hmm.
had a radio playing in the back room. The guy turned to me and says, "We can't play that. You need a license to be able to play that, where the general public can hear it."
That is interesting. However, in my office, it's not the general public though.
Yes.
But that is very interesting though. All right.
And then, Chris, is the water licensing and testing still for the police station, right?
Yes,
Okay.
hopefully, we will have the police station done by next week. We have been told that they had all the parts. A guy is coming out on Thursday to make sure we have everything that we need. And if he does, then next week he'll be in to do the work that has been approved by DEP.
Okay. Thank you. And then, just one other question. The senior fuel assistance, how does that work? I was just curious. Like, do they go through the COA?
Yes,
Okay.
they go see Diane Morgan.
Okay, so, that's the,
She's the outreach worker.
yes, okay. And that is all I had.
All right. You second the motion? No other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Next, we have approved minutes. Do we have any minutes that are
No,
here
we
right
don't have
now?
any minutes.
My favorite. Approve and sign 2023 junk license.
Yep.
That's in here.
I think in the minute folder, I think you have to sign the minutes you approved at the last meeting.
You got- Over here,
Because I don't think you signed it.
here's another one.
Oh yeah, that was for our compact grant.
Yep.
Did we get a chance to review this?
We reviewed it at the last meeting. I thought we signed it.
Did we?
Because Glenn had handed it to me.
Kathy claimed that it wasn't signed, so.
Oh,
I'm only going by what I was told.
yeah. I thought we signed
Where's Kathy?
it.
Yeah, we need that.
She's out on medical leave, but she's still giving me orders.
I know where she is. Just kidding.
I don't see the junk. Oh, gold standard. It says gold standard on it.
Here. I'll take my order on it. Okay.
Alright, so junk license for Mark Kendall Jr. doing business as the Gold Standard, license number 1 at 185 West State Street, Granby, Mass. Is hereby granted a license for the purchase, sale, or barter of junk, old metals, or secondhand articles. This license is granted in conformity with the statutes and ordinances relating thereto and expires December 31st, 2023, unless sooner suspended or revoked. So I will make a motion to approve the Gold Standard junk license as read.
I'll second your motion to approve and sign the junk license.
Is there any further discussion at this time? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Rick?
Next one is a motion to accept the common victualler's license for Granby Booster Club at 385 East State Street in Granby, Mass. Victualler's license number 17, expiring on December 31st, 2023. And to also add to that, they are a nonprofit 501c3 organization in Granby, so they have filled out the permit fee waiver request as well.
So let's do the waiver requests first. Is anybody opposed to the waiver fee?
No.
So I'll make a motion to approve the waiving of the permit fee.
Second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And then the license number was number 17, Granby Booster Club, expiring on December 31st, 2023. So I'll make a motion to accept the vicular's license for Granby Booster Club.
Second?
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Next.
Next, I'll make a motion to approve the common viculars license for Dickinson Farm on 309 East State Street in Granby, license number 18, expiring on December 31st, 2023.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you.
Next is a motion to accept the common viculars license number 19 for LaFlamme's Garden Center, doing business as Dickinson Farm at 134 South Street in Granby, Mass., expiring on December 31st, 2023.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you.
So next is going to be the common viculars license for Church of Christ Congregational. So first I'll make a motion to approve the permit fee waiver for the Church of Christ on 235 State Street in Granby, Mass. So they're a religious institution, therefore exempt from various taxes and fees, and they're a nonprofit.
Is there a second?
I will second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
And the common vehiculars license is number 20, again for Church of Christ Congregational at 235 State Street in Granby, expiring on December 31st, 2023.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you.
Next one is a motion to accept the common viculars license for Early Mug LLC, license number 21, at 337 East State Street in Granby, expiring on December 31st, 2023.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
So next one is an entertainment license. First, we have a permit fee waiver request, again for the Church of Christ Congregational. So I'll make a motion to approve the permit fee waiver request.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
So I'll make a motion to approve the Church of Christ Congregational entertainment license number 4 for 235 State Street in Granby, Mass. for an entertainment license to provide entertainment for various events in the church and on the common located at/on 235 State Street in Granby, expiring December 31st, 2023.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right. Any further discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Is anybody opposed? Thank you.
All right, so next we have the Franklin Regional Council of Governments document.
Basically what that document is every year when the Franklin Regional Council of Government puts out the bids that the town of Granby participates in, they have to have a representative from the town sign on behalf of the town. In the past, it's just been me. Now, according to what they need now in their records is an actual document from the town signed by the Board of Selectmen indicating who that individual is who can sign those contracts on behalf of the town. You can make it David, it won't hurt my feelings.
No, so we're signing the authorization to have you sign.
Yes.
And this-
Everything comes out through DocuSign, it's all done
Yeah.
electronically, so
Oh,
they just want to know that the Board of Selectmen have no issue with whoever is receiving those documents and signing on behalf of the town, that they have the authority to do so. Or permission to do so.
When I was reading this document, are we a member?
Yes. No, we're a member of the purchasing.
Okay,
Department.
but not a member of the FRCOG?
No,
Okay,
those are only for Franklin County.
that's what I
Towns.
thought, okay.
Is there a motion to give Chris the authority to sign and read and receive documents?
Yes, I will make a motion for Chris to be able to sign and receive documents on behalf of the town.
I will second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Is anybody opposed? Okay.
And the board needs to sign that document.
All right, so you'll go here, and I think the additional ones go on here. Dang. There's,
know.
there's lots of lines.
Lots of them.
Well, some boards have
places
five
five
members.
members, yeah.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
Have to get a bigger table.
This is true.
You gotta type in your name on
Yes.
page 3. Okay.
Yes.
All right, moving on, we have old and any other business. Let's see, we have the community one-stop for growth.
yeah, so that was something that I had wanted to add. So I know I had mentioned it before, there's a rural and small town development fund for towns less than 7,000 people, or it says 500 persons per square mile. So this grant under the One Stop for Growth would allow the town, the category says housing, transportation, infrastructure, economic development, and community development. So I looked under, or I explored a little bit more about infrastructure, and it says essential facilities, services, and organizational structures for communal use by residents. So I was thinking that we could apply for this grant for our town offices to have it in one building.
How much is the grant?
The grant is the one that you go through, it's 12 grants in one. It doesn't say the cost of how much they'll give you, it depends on how much the project is for. And then when I looked up infrastructure under the Rural and Small Town Development Fund, it said a horizontal structure, not a vertical structure. So going out this way, not up,
Still a vertical.
because you're still, so that's what's confusing about it. So how do you go out horizontal? and up?
Horizontal is streets,
Is
streets
what?
and bridges.
Okay,
That's horizontal. Anything that goes an inch above or higher, a foot, say,
yeah,
it's vertical construction.
okay.
Very short buildings.
Yes, it is, but
It's still,
it's vertical.
yep.
Yep.
Even though it's horizontal, it also is vertical.
So as it go up, yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's someone that PVPC or someone that is knowledgeable about this grant, if they could help us determine whether or not we would qualify. It says that the expression of interest opened on December 14th, and they're accepting it through March 17th. They have 2 webinars coming up, one on January 31st, which at 10 a.m. And that's just an overview webinar of all of the 12 grants that are combined into one in this application process. And then the webinar 2 is on February 2nd, which that is an application guidance webinar. So just from doing the research online, that's all I could come up with, but I'm not knowledgeable about these grants to know where we are limited on what we can do.
Is that something we could ask the PVPC to take a look at through the planning
We're
board?
just trying to think who, well, Ken Comey right now is on vacation for 2 weeks. So I'm just trying to think who else we could contact.
There's usually probably someone covering, he usually has someone covering for him. I know he's had in the past.
Maybe I'll try Catherine Frette. She usually is knowledgeable on most of this stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Is Ken Cormier the one on the planning board?
He's our town planner through the PVPC.
Take a look at it. If there's money to be had. What if we get money for bridges or roads? Streets,
Yeah.
depending on what it is.
Maybe we can see about looking about installing a water line somewhere or a sewer line.
That is something that they do for sure on there, so.
All right. Next, the town eligibility for green community grants.
That was also me who asked for this to be added. So I talked to Mark from the state about the green community. He's in charge of it, but he's moving up to deputy director. So our new Western Mass representative is going to be Chris Mason. But he said that we are not eligible for green community grants for this fiscal year, that the annual report was never filed on November 4th. So next year, around the same time in November, we would be eligible, but we're not eligible this year.
What annual report is he referring to?
It's the, I guess the Energy Committee used to file it 2 years ago, and then he said that once the Energy Committee got dissolved, Chris had worked with PVPC and they had filed it for fiscal year 21, but for fiscal year 22, it never got filed. But he said to be on the lookout for next year, early November. That's usually when they ask for the annual report, and once we file that, we'll be in good standing to be eligible for up to 2 grants under the green community.
Just gotta look at fiscal year 23, which we're in right now, so. Okay. Update on the survey Chris completed?
Yeah, I filed it. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah. That was also for the,
That was on, I think it was on December 16th. It was
Yep.
the day after the luncheon.
and that was just to see our interest, right? Into the.
It had a
what I
bunch
read.
of various topics you could do. I was mainly looking for technical assistance. I think that was better for us because we need some guidance as to what we really want to do. We have all these ideas, but I think we just need someone to come in and put some cohesiveness to all the ideas that are current. Map out a plan of action.
Okay. So your update on the cost for 2 options for West Street building?
I don't have an update on that at this point in time.
Okay. So we'll just leave that on the agenda for next meeting.
Yep. One other topic, I noticed it didn't get on here. At the last meeting, you asked me to write a letter to the collector.
Yes.
Did you guys have a chance to review it when I sent it out?
I want to say it did, 'cause I remember we.
Do I need to go up and print it out and?
Why don't you, Chris? That way if we didn't want, we can make any changes that we want to.
Okay.
But
Be right
I
back.
didn't think I had an issue with it when I saw it.
When did that go out?
It was a while back, shortly after.
Yeah, it wasn't in with the 17 meeting.
Shortly after our last meeting.
There it is.
Last Wednesday.
Yeah. Here it is.
I have an issue with it.
I don't have an issue with it, you?
No.
Crystal?
No, I just had questions about the sewer, just so that I can understand our rules and regulations for the town.
I didn't hear you, what?
I said I don't have an issue with the letter per se. I just had a question about the sewer and Title V rules and regulations that we have on our website.
Oh. Where was that on the website?
If you go, you actually can just type in the search
It's on the tax
sewer
collector?
and Title V, Granby, Mass. and it brings you right to the town page with the rules and regulations.
Title V is through state.
Right, but it has the town of Granby sewer and regulations underneath that same document.
Okay.
It's like one huge document. And it's page 26 and 27.
Oh, there it is.
We actually all found it after you left, but we all remember reading it though.
That's
Thank you.
okay.
And nobody had any issues with it. If that's, you can entertain a motion to approve the letter, and the letter can be sent out on our behalf.
Can we discuss a little bit towards the end of it? I know she doesn't have, or the collector does not have the authority to change the number of EDUs, but should she see something that's in a discrepancy from our rules and regulations on our website, I think we should have something in here where she comes to the board and lets us know that there is a discrepancy. Either notifying the board or appearing at a meeting or something like that if she sees something. Because when I went back to the sewer in Title V that we have on the website, this is from 1994, you said, Chris? Page 26 and 27, it has the connection fees and charges, and it gives you the EDUs, which are the equivalent dwelling units. And it gives you the formula on how to calculate that per business, per house, and so forth that's hooked up to the sewer. And just by looking at our rules and regulations and doing a little bit of research, it should have been 4 EDUs if we follow the rules and regulations stated on page 26 and 27. So I know you guys don't have that in front of you right now, but that's my concern, is that we're not being
But
equivalent.
if they supplied water usage reports when this went into effect,
Yeah.
and that water usage on a monthly basis could have come out to 1 EDU.
So that's why I was going to ask you, how does that work? Because according to this document, it's based off, like...
Well, I wasn't here in '94, so I can't answer who developed all the EDUs.
Yeah, okay,
Okay? But when you look at the businesses in there,
yeah,
you had back then, you had a bicycle repair shop.
yeah,
Very little water usage there.
yeah,
You had the salon. You had, I think it was the Verizon.
Verizon's still
store,
there,
Ryan's
yeah.
still there, yeah.
Okay? And I don't think Dunkin' Donuts was there in '94.
They were not.
Okay.
No, because you
Okay.
had, Holland Oil had their
Their offices.
office there.
So based upon the 4 offices in there,
yeah.
or the 4 businesses in there, it could have come up to 1 EDU, 330 gallons a day.
Okay,
That's all I'm saying. You're looking at it what it was now. If someone wants to change it,
yeah,
a request has to be made, an official request for the board to go in and look at it and make that change.
no, what do you mean by some, oh, so you're talking about the
Yeah.
collector? Okay.
Yeah. You know,
Now,
I
is there a meter on there that says how much they're using, like you're saying?
don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what they did, okay? Because I know the apartments right across the pond here.
Yep,
They used to come in for abatements. We required them to supply, because they have to take water usage readings every month and submit them to DEP. So we would get the readings from the water operator,
okay,
and then we would calculate it out to see if a abatement was due. 9 times out of 10 it was.
okay,
Even though they have 28 apartments, say there, they weren't using 28 EDUs worth of
Right.
water. Okay?
that makes sense.
So unless somebody can show me that they're using more than that or less than that,
Okay,
we can't grant. Because like I said, nobody was here when this was all put together back in '94.
Right. And you can't update it based off of the new businesses that are in there now?
You could, but you should probably notify the owner that you're gonna be looking at it, so that it doesn't
Right.
come as a complete shock to him either.
Yeah,
You know, we've had people come in and say that because they only live here 6 months out of the year, they feel they shouldn't have to pay the second half of a sewer user fee. But past boards have said, that's a lifestyle choice. We can't go down to a half a EDU.
right,
Because don't forget, we're being billed by South Hadley
right.
based upon the schedule that was agreed upon when the whole system was put in.
And there's no way that they can tell how much we're using either.
No.
Okay.
Who, South Hadley?
Yeah,
All they get is the meter of what flow comes in from our pump station.
but not the individual
Correct.
entities?
No.
Okay.
That's the problem you run into with
Yeah.
not having a water system. Because in most communities, when you have both water and sewer, the sewer bill is based upon your meter readings for the water.
For the water, and we don't have the water readings?
No.
Where'd you find that? The Senate regulations?
Yeah, go to page 26 and 27 in the document.
Yeah, I did. I didn't see anything there.
It says connection fees and charges. So all I'm saying is just by looking at that, I understand why she had billed at 4, according to the document that was on there, based on the businesses that are there. Because it gives you the guidelines of what to bill per business that's there, how many chairs and stuff. But I also understand what you're saying. How do we know how much water they're using when we don't have a meter on it?
Correct.
And we've always billed it at 1 EDU.
Right.
Okay.
Did she? But she doesn't have authority to do that by
Right,
herself.
and I do understand that too. So
No
I'm
matter
just.
what section you're quoting.
Right. If she sees something and she has a question, she should have came to the board and asked the board, or
Yes,
notified the
To look
board.
into it.
To look into it and see what she wants us to do about it.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. And I noticed on here, we want to make sure that if she's made any other changes that she lets us know. So I think that's a good statement to keep as well. Okay.
So do you want that other statement added?
That's her choice, whether or not she wishes to come to us and tell us something or ask us something. She's not
Because
mandated to do
she's-
that, nor can we tell her she has to do that.
I'm just asking.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know, it's up to her. If she sees something that she feels warrants her to come to us, then that's on her discretion.
And you had asked me, Glenn, to go out and see if there's any updated charts. They're all over the place. I went out there, I went out on the rural development for USDA, which basically funded our sewer project. They don't have anything out there. And actually, they're looking at water usage for 1 EDU. I saw one in the state of Pennsylvania was 275 gallons equals 1 EDU, not 330. You know, because they have a lot of water saving devices out there now. But I've went out to various cities. They each have something different. There's no set chart anymore.
Huh.
And then when I was talking with David about it, he says we may want to be careful because that may affect the whole agreement with South Hadley
Hadley.
when we both agreed to build that shared wastewater facility. And if we start playing with the numbers or the charts or whatever, it could affect things for the town of Granby. And possibly South Hadley too.
You mean if the usage is more, or if we're billing for more? Okay.
Because assume that it was agreed upon amount of water that would flow from Austin to
Yes.
South Hadley.
Yes.
Chris, could you explain your argument again, and why you think it's 4? I'm looking at page 26 and 27.
Yeah, so look at the restaurant fast food takeout. Anything above 10 seats is 800 GPDs,
How many seats are in there?
over 10.
Bakery.
And then if you do beauty salon, it's per chair, and they have 4 chairs. And then retail stores, as Chris was saying, it's very low, it's 50. And it was 4 retail stores at that time. So if you add them all up, based off of just the page 26 and 27, it's 1,300 GPDs divided by 330. Comes out to 3.94 EDUs. But again, that's going off of the sheet on page 26 and 27.
Retail store per 1,000.
And I don't know how big the retail stores are, but Verizon and the grocery store that's there now, Bumpy's, it says per 1,000 square feet, like you said, so I just did it at 50, so just 1,000 square feet store. All I'm saying is I know where she got the number from if she had to look at this sheet to bill it out. But is she given the old document ahead of time, Chris, from the previous year? And then she just bills out what the previous year was? So it's not like a whole new thing that she has to come up with or anything? Okay. So I know, Glenn, you said that she doesn't have to come to the board, but I think it would be nice to put a statement in there that says, should you see a discrepancy, please notify the board before doing anything with it. And again, I don't know, like Chris said, they're all different out there, but the one on our website states this.
She's an elected official in the town. I mean, it's up to her.
But we're not telling her, but I think it would be a common courtesy if we are the sewer commission for her to notify us if she sees a discrepancy.
You are telling her. You're telling if you see
No.
one, you have to notify us.
Without that statement?
What you just said. If she sees a discrepancy, to notify us.
Right. So I just had that added, is what I'm saying, towards the last paragraph.
I'm just saying that falls under her own discretion, so that's why I'm saying she's an elected official. If she chooses to do that, she can. That's all. I just don't like putting that in a letter from us to her. That's all.
Telling the elected official to do it, yeah.
I believe she knows that, or she will know that after she receives the letter. Because if she's reviewing it and then she comes across something that doesn't seem correct to her, then it basically says in there that to notify the select board. Because if she's looking to change something, she needs written authorization from the select board that's acting as the sewer commission for the town of Granby. But I'm just one person.
Can you just, I'm sorry, can you just explain that? Because we're saying, according to the statement, we're saying that without written authorization, she can't, from the select board, she can't change the EDUs. And then we're asking her also to inform us if there's any other changes that were made to the sewer user accounts.
Yes.
Okay, so where in there does it say if you see a discrepancy to notify the board? It just means that if we see a discrepancy, that we are going to notify her if we see something that needs to be changed.
No, it's not what
No.
that's saying.
If she sees
can't-
something, she's
Because,
to
because
notify.
what happens is when you issue a permit for someone to connect to the system,
Yeah.
okay? I'll use case in point, 39 West State Street. Okay, AJ's Auto Body. When Mr. Darcy wanted the sewer connection put there, at that point in time, a permit is issued, and the number of EDUs is determined at the time that the sewer is connected.
Okay.
The board then notifies the collector that we now have a new account, number, it'll be sewer account number 2222, whatever, okay? And it is gonna be issued to the property owner, whatever their name is, their address, for 39 West State Street, to be billed at 1 EDU, 1.5 EDUs, 2, determining, that is determined by the board when they issue that permit. Everything is done through this board, and it is officially notified to the collector to add that new account.
Okay.
And back in '94, where that piece of property that we're talking about was hooked up, the board said just one unit.
Yep. Somebody made that calculation.
Yeah.
Don't know. I don't know if it's the engineering firm. I don't know if the board went out and made a guesstimate. Or, you know, like I said, or they had the engineers who designed the system determined. Because remember when we were talking the water line?
Yep.
We were trying to figure out how much water usage was going to be used by each of these properties. You know?
Right.
It was the same idea for sewer back then. Because we don't have a water system that we can base our sewer uses off of.
Don't know how many gallons we're consuming, so we'll be discharging.
Yeah.
In a lot of communities, they have 2 water bills that'll go out. They have a summer reading and a winter reading. They usually use the winter reading doubled to determine sewer, because in the summer, you have gardens, pools, and all that. You have extra usage that people do for that. That doesn't go into the system.
So I'll go back to, is there a motion to send out the letter as is? No. Okay, if it's not a motion that's approved to send out as is, then.
Do you want me to go?
No, I'm sorry, I'm just reading it one
Oh,
more
okay.
time.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the letter as written.
Is there a second?
I will second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Anybody opposed?
Do we have a letter that needs to be signed? Yes, we do.
Does anybody have anything they want to bring up at our next regular scheduled select board hearing?
It was brought to my attention that the electric car charging stations aren't working. I didn't know, if they don't work at the school.
You haven't for a while,
They're having
have they?
no, and they put a couple, from what I was told, they put a couple of $1,000s into it, and they're still not working. And I was told the library doesn't work either, so I didn't know if we knew if the library had working electric cars charging stations. I know the police work, right?
And ours
Police
works.
station works.
This
But
one.
those require a special card,
Okay,
because those are mainly for municipal vehicles only.
okay, and
The
same here.
library, let me talk with Jeremy, because I think there may be a switch we can flip on the inside.
Okay,
But we also should have a sign limited to so many hours of charging too.
okay,
You don't want someone coming in and sitting there all day
right.
and all night, using it as their own personal.
Yeah, well, most cars charge in a couple hours.
But
Depends. I've heard stories that it can take up to 18 hours in some vehicles.
in the cold weather,
Yeah.
like this, they
Yeah.
can't.
But someone shouldn't be using that for 18 hours because
You
it's.
should have one at your house if you had them. But
Actually, it should only be for use while patron is in the
in the
library.
In the, yeah.
And maybe we should put a sign up like that.
Now, that was part of the Green Community Grant, right?
Yeah.
So they were all put in at the same time? Okay,
The school ones were put in during the construction
of the reno,
of
okay.
the
East Meadow?
East Meadow School.
Okay. So,
And I think they forgot to run the wire, didn't they?
No,
No.
it was
No.
working for the longest time.
Thought they
Then,
forgot to
I don't
run
know if they
something to 'em.
changed something on the network in there or whatever,
Okay.
but even I can't get to them anymore.
Hmm.
okay,
I used to be able to get to them and take reports off of them. I can't get to them, so I don't know what they did with the network.
okay.
If they may have changed something so they can't communicate outwards. So, don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not in charge of that network, so
Who is school?
Dave Lukasevitz, yes. The only question I have for the board is next month, the 20th is a holiday, which is your second meeting.
So we'll meet the Tuesday. That works for everybody?
You want to do the 21st?
Yeah, we'll-
Okay, I
We'll
just
be
wanted-
consistent with what we've been doing, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure, Glenn, because sometimes you're gone that week.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's school vacation week.
Yeah. All right.
We
well-
meet on the 31st?
No. Yes.
Yes.
It's 2 weeks, right?
But that's for
26th and
the
the 31st.
budget meeting.
Yep. Oh, okay. I do have that down.
All right. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Anybody?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
None for me.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.